Oishi signaled Kumagai with his chin, who nodded while taking notes.
お父さんとお母さんはあまり仲良くなかったですか?
Nope.
程度の度合いはわかりませんが、よくはなかったと思います。
率直に聞いて申し訳ないですけど、お母さんに恨みを持っていた人間とか知っていたら教えてほしいんですがね。
よくわからないです。
そうですか。じゃあもしも思い出したらでいいので、その時は教えてくださいね。これ私の名刺です。ここに電話番号ありますので。
はい。
じゃあ後日またいろいろとお話を伺うこともあるかもしれません。もしもお父さんと連絡がつきましたら、沖宮警察署の大石まで至急ご連絡をとお伝えください。くまちゃん、北条さんを自宅まで送ってあげてください。
いえ、一人で帰れますから。
いえ、そんなこと言わずにぜひ送らせてくださいな。お母さんを襲った犯人がまだ近くにいる可能性があるんですよ。あなたもまた狙われない保証なんてないんですからね。
お気遣いありがとうございます。でも本当に結構ですね。
Satoshi tried to reject the offer, but Oishi and Kumagai insisted. In the end, Satoshi was forced to accept. He turned around to leave, when Oishi spoke to him as if he remembered something he'd forgotten to say.
北条さん。
はい。
大丈夫ですよ。心配しないでください。犯人はすぐに捕まりますよ。
手がかりとかあるんですか？
ありますよ。
どんなですか？
捜査上の秘密ですよ。ね。
Ordinary people might think that Oishi was trying to cheer the poor kid up with a joke.
いえね。
Or it could be like a threatening one that, we know you're the one who did it. We're onto you, little kid. Or something like that.
人を殺すってのはかなり感情の高ぶるもんなんですよ。そりゃ、冷静に殺してみせるロボットみたいなのも、稀に。
感情が高ぶると、何かわかるんですか？
人は極限まで感情が高ぶるといろいろ体に反応が出ます。発汗とか脱毛とかね。殺人現場に犯人の毛髪が落ちているってことは割とあることなんですよ。まあここは屋外ですからね。現場が絨毯の上ってのとはだいぶ勝手が違いますが。
犯人の毛髪は拾えたんですか？
さあね。鑑識の連中が大列組んでさっきから行ったり来たりしていろいろ探してます。まだ結果待ちでね。何が出るやら今から楽しみですよ。
明日があるので今夜はもう帰ります。
そうなさってください。くまちゃん、送ってあげてください。
Alright.
了解っす。
では北条さん、また近いうちに。進展があったらお知らせしますよ。北条さんも何か思い出したりしたら、ぜひ教えてくださいね。憎き母の仇の逮捕に協力してまいりましょう。
Alright. This is gonna be interesting. I had the feeling that Satoshi would have been questioned by Oishi. Especially since he's not gonna disappear until much later. Not like right now, no. Not like right now. Like, I am curious. Because if things were to be left as it is, that the aunt dies and Satoshi disappears later and that's about it, people are gonna suspect that it was him who did it, that he disappeared because he murdered someone. The fact that somebody else was discovered as a murderer, some random stranger who was pinned the crime of murder, and Satoshi only was deemed as a spirited away kind of guy in the situation, in the curse of Oyashiro, it may be for the sake of protecting Satoshi's image. So, yeah, it kind of makes me question if somebody actually helped him in this. And that would mean bringing some random stranger and pinning the crime on that guy. And then Satoshi would disappear. Sis called the morning after the Wanagashi festival to tell me that the curse had struck again for the 4th time. The victim was the evil aunt who was harassing Satoshi-kun and Satoko. Satoshi-kun's suffering should be over now, since the problem was with Satoko and the aunt's relationship to begin with. Maybe I should have celebrated. But I wasn't in the mood for some reason.
犯人ってもう警察は目星をつけてるのかな?
Sis went quiet when I asked that.
さあね、大石の野郎がしつこく聞き込みをして回ってるみたい。犯人は近しい人間に違いないと思ってるようだね。
Being identical twins, Sis and I think very much alike. If I suspected Satoshi-kun of being the murderer, so would she. Because of this, I didn't have to mention the obvious.
サトシ君って祭りの日にアリバイやります？
どうだろう。
I heaved a huge sigh.
バカですね。サトシ君は祭りに来ていた。そういうことでいいじゃないですか。
そうだよね。
No.
気が利かなくてごめん。
I heaved another sigh. Sis was stupid enough to forget to make an alibi for him, even though the murder of his aunt alone would raise enough suspicion.
じゃあ、やっぱり、サトシが？
サトシ君が殺したかどうかが問題じゃないでしょ？サトシ君が犯行の時間帯にアリバイがあったかが重要なんです。ったく。
後で警察がうちに来るみたいだから、来たらサトシは祭りで一緒だったって言うよ。
お姉、取ってつけた嘘なんか何の役にも立たないです。何も手を打たなかったなら、今さら小細工しても無駄ってことです。せいぜい正直に喋ってください。お姉は芝居が下手なんだから、変に意識するとかえって勘ぐられますからね。
ごめん。
Okay. She sounded depressed. I was the one who should have been depressed. Mion usually handles things well, but she's not too good with emergencies. I was left worried for the future of the Sonozaki family. Mion must have been embarrassed. This could very well be a different case in comparison to Chapter 3, in the sense that, in Chapter 3, Keiichi did the murder, and the next day, the girls would immediately go on ahead and create an alibi for Keiichi to have been at the festival, even though he wasn't. In this case, though, that wasn't the case. It may be too late for that. I guess you could say that they learned from their mistake. Like, hey, Keiichi literally did a murder on the Watanagashi festival day, in similar fashion to Satoshi. Let's create an alibi like real quick. So, I don't know. She soon changed the subject.
シオン、最近はあまりバイトに行けてなかったでしょ？
ご検察痛み入ります。おかげさまで。
ごめん。今日は私、夜まで姿を隠してるから、バイトに出られるんじゃない？
Sis had been appearing in public places during festival preparations and whatnot. As a result, I haven't been able to pretend to be her. I haven't been able to work. As someone who had to support myself, it was a bit of a pain. To be honest, I didn't feel like working. But I couldn't afford to be sitting around either. When I locked my apartment door before leaving, the door of the next apartment over opened and Kasai appeared.
シオンさん、お出かけですか？
Hello there, Kasai.
そんなとこです。お姉が姿を隠してくれるそうなんで、 久々にバイトに出ます。葛西、暇だったらおじさんの店まで車を出してもらってもいい？
シオンさん、しばらくはバイトを控えられた方がよろしくはないですか？事件のせいで警察は園崎家界隈を監視しているようですし、あまり姿を表に出さない方がいいのではないかと思います。
お気遣いは嬉しいけど、バイトしないと食費もないわけですし。
Kasai might suggest he donate money to my cause. However, I had sworn to myself when I started living here that I wouldn't depend on Kasai. While I don't obey anyone else's rules, I stick to my own. Kasai could tell that I was adamant in my decision. So, after repeating himself a couple of times as a formal procedure, he decided to give me a ride after all. You know, if things were easier, and if we were to think that it wasn't Satoshi who murdered the aunt, this could have been the beginning of some good days. Yeah, somebody died, but at least Satoshi and Satoko would live happily from now on. Satoshi would be able to buy that teddy bear, and all things would end well. But no, we do know that Satoshi is gonna disappear later. Like, something happens for him to disappear. Like, either he is forced to disappear because of the crime that he has to run away from, and Satoshi, he doesn't want to be found as the criminal of the aunt, like, in front of Satoko. Now, if Satoko is gonna be disappointed in Satoshi, or she's gonna be happy, it's kind of that same debate that I had in chapter 3, where Satoko finding Keiichi as a murderer, it hit her deeply. So it could very well be that, in similar fashion to that point, even if the aunt died. Well, no, because when chapter 3 happened, a lot of other people have died. Like, Teppei died, Rika died, Irie died, Oishi, I think he disappeared, right? Yeah, he disappeared. Irie died and Rika died. When Satoko found out that Rika died, that was the point where she found out that Keiichi was a murderer, and that completely shocked her. If it was like much closer to Teppei's death and she found out that Teppei was murdered by Keiichi, I don't know, like Satoko would surely have been shook by it, but it wouldn't have nearly hit her as much as finding out that Rika may have been killed because of Keiichi. Like, Rika was her best friend. So, I don't know, it's like, either way, from Satoshi's perspective, he more than likely doesn't want Satoko to find out that he is a murderer, even if it's about the aunt, Tamae. So, Pedestrians passed by in front of the car. I was startled to see that one of them looked like Satoshi-kun. It was him, though I had spoken with him on the phone just a couple of days before. It had been a while since I saw him last.
葛西、悪いけどおじさんに、やっぱ今日のバイトは行けなくなったって伝えてくれる？私、ここで降ります。
え？シオンさん。
Kasai looked taken aback, but I got out of the car regardless. The light turned green. The car behind him honked while Kasai was shouting at me, so he had to start moving. Satoshi-kun was on his bike, but he was going really slowly. I caught up with him in a flash and tapped him on the back.
ハロロー。沖宮で会うなんて奇遇ですね、サトシ君。
If I talked to him with a smile, he might smile back. So I smiled as brightly as I could.
ミオン。
He looked tired as always, but I could tell he was trying to smile back. My worries suddenly disappeared. I was certain I looked happy. I was aware of that myself, so it must have been obvious to Satoshi-kun.
何があったか知らないけど、ミオンが楽しそうだね。
ええ、楽しいですよ。サトシ君の機嫌が良さそうなので、私も釣られて機嫌が良くなっただけです。
When I teased him, he looked a bit embarrassed. It was like we were back in the old days. I felt even happier than before.
サトシくんこそ何かあったんですか？何か機嫌が良くなるようないいことがありましたか？
いいことなんかないよ。おばさんが亡くなって、警察とかご近所とか、いろいろ大変だよ。
I might have asked something dumb. He seemed to be okay with it though. He frowned a bit at first, but Satoshi-kun continued smiling gently. He looked worn out, but satisfied, like he had accomplished something great. That was the mood I sensed from him. So I was convinced the one who killed that wicked aunt who tormented Satoko was him. I had absolutely no proof, but I knew it intuitively. So I admitted all those questions. I knew Satoshi-kun's motive for killing his aunt, and how badly he was driven into a corner. I knew the environment and the situation he was in. And I knew Satoshi-kun's feelings. I knew all that. So I admitted all those questions. I wanted to celebrate his release from that curse, so I smiled like nothing was different as I asked.
サトシくんはどこかへお出かけですか？あ、バイトかな？
正解。その前に寄り道なんだけどね。
You gotta take your money.
寄り道？
毎日ちゃんとショーケースにあるのを確認しないとなんだか不安で。
I want to make sure that the teddy bear is there. That conversation reminded me. The reason he started his part-time job was to buy Satoko a huge teddy bear. He was being sold at a toy store just down the street. Cause here's the thing. We know that he disappears. But one would think that if he were to himself decide to actually disappear, he would have at least made sure to bring the teddy bear to Satoko, whether by him or make somebody else get the teddy bear for Satoko. But no, from what we know, the teddy bear was never brought to Satoko by Satoshi or anybody else. Like, you would think that if Satoshi were to just run away, like, by choice, because of the police and all that, he would have at least made sure to get the teddy bear, like, real quick, and then run away. But no. It was never brought up. So that means that... So that could be... There could be the possibility that he disappeared without him intentionally wanting to. Like, I don't know. That it was also sudden, like I originally thought in like the earlier chapters. I don't know. Satoko's birthday was right after the festival. I wasn't sure what date though. Wait, didn't he say he quit his job? Maybe he was going to greet his ex-coworkers and clean out his locker or something. Either way, he'd been completely free very soon. Maybe he hadn't been paid yet. That's why he wanted to check if they still had the teddy bear. Yeah. Maybe he was only getting paid on Satoko's birthday. "3 days. Would it mean that Satoko's birthday is on 23rd? When we got near the toy store, he rushed to the display window. He looked relieved that it hadn't been sold yet.
よかったよかった。大丈夫。ちゃんとあるよ。
買えるだけのお金は稼げてるわけですよね。なら予約とかしちゃえばいいのに。
もう。
That is something that I was actually questioning myself. Like, can't you just tell the store owner, hey, can you keep this for me for a couple of days? My sister's birthday is going to be in a couple of days, and I want that teddy bear, like really badly. But then again, I don't know what the policy is for store owners, especially during these times in Japan. Like, if people were even allowed to do something like that. I don't know. Maybe? I mean, then again, this store, this store is owned by Osonozaki. even if that were the case, like, Shion could just, Mion could just go in and, pull some strings and let the teddy bear stay there for Satoshi. He probably hadn't thought of that. He really did need someone to look after him. Or maybe he didn't think of that. We did establish that he is a little bit clumsy sometimes. I looked into the display window over his shoulder. The teddy bear wasn't that cute, in my opinion. He looked huge and cramped in the middle of the store's showcase. Really, he looked more like a display model than an item for sale.
値札がついてないけど、これ本当に売り物なんですか？これ一体いくらするんです？
売り物なのは確認したから間違いないよ。
値段は？予算は大丈夫？
大丈夫だよ。ちゃんと確認してあるよ。
Satoshi-kun thought I was teasing him again. He pouted and looked a little sulky.
予算が大丈夫なら問題ないじゃないですか。なら予約しちゃいましょう。その方がサトシ君も心の荷が下りていいでしょうしね。
We entered the store and looked for a clerk.
誰もいないのかな。
そりゃ好都合です。サトシ君、お給料日を待たずにぬいぐるみが手に入るかもですね。
Shion.
ダメだよミオン。泥棒はいけないよ。
冗談ですって。軽く受け流してほしかったんだけどな。ひょっとして私が盗っ人の真似を平気でできる女だと思ってます？
あ、ごめん。
Satoshi-kun smiled apologetically. I puffed up my cheeks to tease him. It had really been a while since the last time we did this. Many undesirable things happened that I wanted to forget. But now I felt as though all those things simply vanished into the air around us. I found an old person napping in the back. He must be the clerk, I thought. Yo, Yoshi! He looked to be fast asleep.
すみません。お店の方ですよね。
Mion, you're not God damn it. No, don't ask like that. You're supposed to know that guy, actually. I poked his shoulder, but he didn't look like he was going to wake up. When I did that, a middle-aged woman wearing an apron came in.
おじいちゃん、店番頼んだのにすっかり眠りしちゃった。お客さん来てるってのにもう。
Would the Satoshi know that the store owner here is Mion's uncle? In which case, that would be like a red flag in Satoshi's eyes, and he would ask, "What the fuck? Why are you asking him like that? Like, why are you asking if he is the owner? He's supposed to be your uncle. He owns the store." Kind of makes me question if that was to be something that he's gonna question.
もうごめんなさいね。うちのおじいちゃんももうすっかりボケちゃって。
The middle-aged woman shook the old man awake and told him to go back to the living room. She went to the cash register after that.
お恥ずかしいところ見せちゃってごめんなさいね。何かお買い上げ？
あ、買うんじゃなくて予約なんですけど、いいですか？あのショーケースの中の一番大きいぬいぐるみなんですけど。
あれ？いいの？値札見た？かなり高いけど、お小遣い大丈夫なの？
あ、はい。
Indeed. A really, really big teddy. The biggest teddy bear. For a lovely ray of sunshine, Satoko.
ギリギリ足りるはずです。
もうすぐバイトのお給料が入るそうなので、それまで予約したいんですけど。
The woman looked a bit hesitant at first, but she eventually wrote down Satoshi-kun's name and accepted the reservation. Satoshi-kun received a slip of paper.
ね。これでもう誰かに先に買われちゃう心配はもう必要ありません。
Alright.
うん。お給料がもらえるのはもうすぐなんだけどね。 これで安心できる。
He would have kept coming to check every day if he hadn't done this now. He would have spent his time needlessly worrying. Satoshi-kun looked very relieved indeed.
これならもっと早くに予約をしていればよかったな。
普通の人は欲しいと思ったら即予約します。そういう思考に至らないサトシ君はちょいと希少です。
That does make sense. Oh, Like these days, and 2020s, you order things. You don't you have to wait for them to appear. Like, this is similar fashion to right over here. Like, back in the old days, you would just go to the shop and buy these things directly. And now, everybody orders everything from the internet, and I have to wait for them to arrive. Those painful days seem unbelievable now. Satoshi-kun looked like he'd forgotten everything that happened up until yesterday.
でもありがとう。
Satoshi-kun held out his hand to touch my head. Was he going to stroke it? I felt my face reddening already. Even before he touched my hand, I felt tingly, remembering the last time. I didn't care about the murder, or whatever else happened. As long as Satoshi-kun had his freedom, everything would be alright. I'd be content as long as we could live happily from day to day onward. But Satoshi-kun's hand never reached my head. I slowly opened my eyes, only to realize that the situation had drastically changed. The fuck? Huh? There were 4 men in suits blocking our way. Oh. It looked as though they'd been waiting for us to exit the toy store.
どうもどうも。
Domo domo? The oldest of the 4 men stepped forward while smirking. I had never met this man, but it looked like he knew both Mion and Satoshi-kun. He was probably a cop. I ran a search for information in my head. Aw, man. You know, with Shion and Mion, this is a bit of a difficult situation because, okay, we've heard that Mion is going to be hiding herself for the rest of the day so that Shion would just go around and do whatever, like doing her work and all that, but nonetheless, Oishi and the police, they are keeping their eyes on the Sonozakis at this point, for sure. So that means trying to look after Mion. I don't know about Shion though. Like, if Oishi and the police know about Shion's escape from school. Maybe they do? Maybe they had some information channel that told them, hey, this other Sonozaki, Shion Sonozaki, apparently ran away from school like a while ago. Maybe we should pay attention to that detail. Like, maybe Shion is gonna be around too. I don't know if they are gonna reach the conclusion that Mion and Shion, they are switching places. I don't think that they're gonna reach that far. Like, I don't know. Like, nonetheless, they're trying to keep their eyes on Mion right now. Like, Mion is an important person to them, so yeah. Like, some people are definitely looking around the main house. Like, they're staying near the main house to see who enters and who leaves and such while the investigation is going. There is no doubt about that. So it kind of makes me think like where the real Mion is hiding. Like, if Mion is hiding in the main house, not leaving, you know? Whatever the case is, in Oishi's eyes, Mion, the real Mion, is right here. Like, if they were to find a contradiction that, hey, they also found like the real Mion like someplace else at the same time Oishi's talking to this Mion, that would bring some complications. Like, Oishi would definitely say, suspicious. 2 Mions in 2 different places? Well, I'll be.
こんにちは。北条さん、園崎さん。いい雰囲気だったところを邪魔しちゃって実に申し訳ないです。
This must be Kuraudo Oishi, the cop who's investigating the series of mysterious deaths. He thinks the Sonozaki family is behind all the cases. In other words, he is an enemy of the Sonozaki family. He has deep connections with other investigation divisions in the police force, and likes to nose around the businesses in this area. He annoys the Sonozaki family enough as it is by interfering with its Yakuza business, let alone his suspicions on the series of mysterious deaths. Naturally, as the family's successor, he is not a welcome figure to Mio Sonozaki. I try to imagine how Sis would react.
ありゃあ、大石さんですか。お仕事ご苦労様です。大の大人が4人も揃って、おもちゃ屋さんに何かご用で？
Mion would act normally with a tinge of angerness in her, that's for sure. Like, hidden, when talking to Oishi.
まさかお人形さん買いに来たってわけでもあるまいに。
I know what they want, and it's not a toy. Probably not me either. They want Satoshi-kun. I took a look at Satoshi-kun. He seemed a bit uncomfortable. The other 3 cops loosely surrounded us to prevent our escape.
北条さん、実はですね、ちょいと伺いたいお話。
何それ？任意同行ってやつ？サトシ君、こんなのに付き合う必要ないよ。行こう。
I pushed on his shoulder. They just stood there, looking pale and bewildered. Bewildered? No, he actually looked resigned. Then, I recalled Sis's mistake. It's obvious that he killed his aunt from the circumstances. You don't even have to look at the crime scene. How could Mion have failed to create an alibi? That stupid Mion must have spoken to the police without making anything up at all. I wonder if this is the beginning of possibly Shion having some grudge on Mion for not protecting Satoshi enough. Like, remember that theory that I had in the investigation video about the quadruple love theory and all that? Like, I was thinking that, okay, maybe Shion has a grudge on Mion because of something that happened in the past, and that something might have something to do with Satoshi. I was bringing up that fear, that idea that, hey, in similar fashion to how Shion pulled Keiichi into the ritual storehouse, maybe something similar happened in the past with Mion and Satoshi, and because Satoshi was brought into the ritual storehouse, the curse happened, and thus he disappeared. That it is because of Mion possibly enabling maybe Satoshi into getting inside the storehouse, that Shion would have a grudge on Mion, and because of that, Keiichi was put in a similar situation and was brought inside the storehouse. That may no longer be the case. I don't think that the ritual storehouse is going to be that important in this. I don't think that there's going to be like any parallel between Keiichi and Satoshi when it comes to the storehouse. Although there was that thing that Rika said about the cat that entered the storehouse, which still makes me think that maybe she was referring to Satoshi, who at some point entered the ritual storehouse. They were curious. But either way, so far it doesn't seem that the ritual storehouse has like any connections. But there could still be a grudge on Mion because of Satoshi. Let's see. If she hadn't done anything, the Ledgers wouldn't work to help her. It was just a matter of time until the police uncovered Satoshi-kun's complete lack of an alibi. The police were trying to corner him and lead him to confess. I looked at Satoshi-kun's face once again. He looked like a dead man. He probably didn't know he could refuse to be interrogated. If he was taken to the station and grabbed by Oishi, he'd confess in a minute. Somebody had to protect him. Nobody had ever been there for him. I had to step up now. But how? Would it be possible to alter what Mion had already told him, saying it was a mistake? That wasn't going to work. If I had more time, I'd come up with an excellent idea. But I didn't have that much time at all. To pressure him, the cops were drawing near. Satoshi-kun must have felt intimidated. He might end up turning himself in due to the pressure while I'm stuck trying to come up with something. I have to do something now. I have to say something. Otherwise Satoshi-kun might give in. I have to save him. Oishi drew near. Satoshi-kun fell back.
大して時間は取らせませんから。そんな怖がらないでください。
It won't take much time. He just said it. He just said he won't let him out if he caught him now. Satoshi-kun, don't give in. If you give in now, everything you've been working for will be ruined. Satoshi-kun looked like he was at his breaking point. Oishi was clearly aware of it. Oishi smirked and held out his arm to grab Satoshi-kun's shoulder. I felt electrified when I saw that. That hand shouldn't be allowed to touch Satoshi-kun. The moment Oishi touched his shoulder, he'd give in. He'd go to the police station and confess everything.
サトシ君にアリバイがあるか知りたいわけですよね。
Oishi turned his face toward me. His hand left hanging in the air. I wasn't very prepared for this. I just had to stop Oishi, no matter what. I only needed to gain some time. It didn't really matter what I said.
そうですよ。北条聡さんのアリバイが知りたいんです。私たちの捜査がまずいからなのかな。犯行の時間帯にどうしても北条さんのアリバイが見つけられないんですよ。仕方ないから恥を忍んでご本人に直接そのあたりをお伺いしようかと思いましてね。
そんなの本人に聞く必要ないです。私がアリバイ証明しますから。
ありゃ、そりゃ本当。なら助かるな。あの晩園崎さんが神社にいてお祭りの最後まで過ごしていたことはすでにあなたからも聞いているし、その他大勢の方からも証言を得ています。そのあなたがそこで北条さんとも一緒だったと言ってくれるなら一番楽なんですがね。でもあんた、以前そのあたりをお聞きしたとき、北条さんのことは一言も言ってませんよね。実はいましてって、今頃おっしゃるおつもりで？
Now, here's the thing. Is it really the case that the real Mion just didn't think much and spoke the truth instead of lying and creating some alibi for Satoshi? Maybe she didn't know that the murder happened by that point when it happened? Or didn't think much of it? Or there is a reason why she just couldn't create an alibi for Satoshi even if Mion had the thought that he killed the aunt. Maybe because the real Mion knows who the real murderer of Tamae is and it's not Satoshi? Okay, I don't know.
祭り会場の誰一人、北条さんを見ていないのに、あなただけは見ていたとそうおっしゃるおつもりで？
そうです。私と一緒にいました。それで十分です。
あなたが仲良しのお友達と終始一緒にいたのは分かっているし、私も会場で実際にお見かけしています。それでも一緒にいたとおっしゃるわけで？
I guess so. maybe that's the explanation. Maybe the reason the real Mion couldn't have given Satoshi an alibi is because, well, who knows, maybe Oishi was there at the festival like all the damn time looking at the kids. And Mion knew that. And Mion knew that she couldn't create an alibi for Satoshi because Satoshi was just not there near them. And with Oishi being there, knowing that Satoshi was not near Mion and the girls, in Mion's eyes, she couldn't create an alibi.
そいつはちょっと苦しくない？ん？
Oishi approached me with a creepy smile. Was he teasing me because my excuse sounded funny? I didn't think so. He was frustrated due to being interrupted when he was about to catch a big fish.
祭り会場でずっと一緒に遊んでたのに、すっかり忘れてて今頃になって思い出したと、そうおっしゃるおつもり？園崎みおんさん。
I did get a little scared, but I couldn't stop myself. Save Satoshi if I revealed my real identity. I was aware of the risk. Grandma would certainly capture me if I revealed it. I didn't think of the consequences after that.
っていうか、私ミオンじゃないですし。
Oh, fuck. What?
だからもともと綿流しになんか言ってません。
あ？
サトシ君とは綿流しの晩は沖宮のファミレスでずっとおしゃべりしてました。エンジェルモートって店ですので、どうぞ店長にも確認を取ってください。
Oh, wow. Oishi was still smirking, but he apparently felt confused.
あんた何を言ってるの？あんたミオンじゃないなら誰なわけ？
園崎シオンです。ミオンの双子の妹です。初めてお会いしますね。こんにちは。
Okay, now I'm just realizing, I mean, obviously, this is a bit of a parallel to Chapter 2, when Shion protected Keiichi from the bullies. But I'm noticing that Shion is not in Mion's clothes. She's in her usual clothes. He frowned.
園崎みおんさんに双子の妹がいたなんて初めて知りましたよ。あんた、大人をからかってんの？
Didn't know that Mion had a twin sister.
からかってなんかないですよ。どうぞ戸籍でも何でも調べてみてください。
Yeah, you would think that they would have checked like the family register by this point. Unless it's something secretive, because that's what it implied by that question, that the police didn't even know that Mion had a twin sister? What, you're telling me that the Sonozakis kept Shion's name a secret? Nah, it can't be.
それともお姉を呼んで二人で並んでみせれば信じます？
Because if that were the case, they wouldn't have put her in school. They would have just sent her in like Bufu fucking Egypt or something like that. Nah, they like, I guess they didn't check the family register. They never knew that. They never checked for Mion's twin sister. All the cops looked bewildered now.
園崎シオンさん？
はい。
Because I was thinking that, okay, by this point, they might have learned that Shion ran away. That's something that they should have known by now if they were to check like the Sonozakis and such, that they learned that, oh, this twin sister escaped from school, and they learned that she ran away, but they didn't know where she was. That would have been the main thing. And now they're finding out that the twin sister is like right here. But no, they didn't even know that she existed.
シオンですが、何か？
あんたにもちょっと来てもらってもいいですかね。あんたが園崎シオンさんで、北条さんと一緒におられたって言うんなら、あんたにも話を聞かせてもらいたいもんです。
ええ、 望むところです。お手柔らかによろしくお願いいたします。
Well, damn, this is actually interesting. Yeah, I guess so. Only, it is at this point that Satoshi finds out that this was Shion all along. And developed a relationship. Found out that he talked to Shion all this time. But I guess it is from this point onward that, okay, now Shion is known to have lived here for a while. Like, the secret is out. And therefore, from this point onwards, now that the secret is out, Shion can just go freely wherever she wants. Because I assume that Oreo eventually would be like, okay, you know what, whatever, just do whatever the fuck you want. And no need to hide yourself anymore. Just fuck off. You can even go inside the village for all I care. I don't give a fuck. Or something like that. And thus, she would move more freely the way we've seen in chapter 2 and all that. Because we are, like, the secret is revealed, like, right here. Though, like, they never expected this to happen. I hoped to be able to fix Satoshi-kun's alibi for at least a little while. It shouldn't be too difficult to talk to Sis about this, then forge up an alibi together.
サトシ君、何を聞かれてもエンジェルモードで私とおしゃべりをして過ごしていたと言い張ってください。私が何とかしますから。何を聞かれてもよく覚えていないとか、サトシ君なら下手なことは言わず黙り込んだ方が無難かもです。
Satoshi-kun wore a startled expression. Though I was telling him something important, he apparently decided not to listen.
サトシ君、聞いてます？ここでしっかりしないと刑事たちの思うツボです。
He must have been feeling deceived. No wonder. I just confessed that I wasn't Mion, but her twin sister. And you know, with this revelation, like, in Satoshi's eyes, some things should click at this point about the inconsistencies in the past. Like, hell, what I was talking about before about the shop owner. Like, Mion, you're not supposed to ask like as if you didn't know the store owner. That store owner is your uncle. Like, if Satoshi were thinking about that in the back of their mind, now it should be like, oh, now it makes sense. Or, there was something else, but I'm forgetting. Yeah, like, having that huge fight with Satoko in the first place. Like, one would think that Mion would never do such a thing to Satoko. They're friends and all that. But if it's revealed to be Mion, somebody who barely knows Satoko, and you're like, now it makes sense. And same case for the idiot, too. Like, now he's gonna find out that, so it wasn't Mion who had feelings for Satoshi, it was this Shion. I had really been deceiving him.
怒ってます？
なんで？
騙してて。
Satoshi-kun started laughing. I didn't know why he'd laugh. Because he wasn't the type of person who would laugh in order to hide something. Maybe he's thinking about it. Maybe he's thinking of like the inconsistencies in the past. And maybe he's even relieved that it wasn't Mion, the real Mion, who was having that fight with Satoko, but this new Shion right in front of him. Like, maybe he is relieved about some of this stuff.
たまに教室のミオンと話が食い合わないことがあったから違和感は感じてたんだ。やっとわかったよ。
怒らないでくれるんですか？騙してたこと。
Satoshi-kun looked puzzled. He was like he didn't know whether he should be upset about it or not. Or maybe he was only pretending to be that way.
はじめまして。じゃないんだよね。
はい。 そうなります。
そっか。シオンってどう書くの？
詩を読むの詩に音でシオンです。
シオン。いい名前だね。
じゃあお二人さん、すみませんが署までご同行願いますかね。粉末でよければコーヒーか紅茶かくらいは選べますよ。
Notebook, page 29. Alright. Teddy bear. Alright, let's see. Notebook, page 29. Is this from Shion's notebook, or... Either Satoshi-kun was smart or very lucky. Okay, it's Shion's. Or maybe it wasn't him. The police found nothing at the crime scene to indicate his involvement in the murder. Yet Satoshi-kun was still the prime suspect. Considering his home environment, he had a strong enough motive. He had no alibi. The police had everything other than physical evidence. It wasn't surprising that Oishi took a chance. He probably didn't expect me to step in, but what I did was too little to avert his suspicion of Satoshi-kun. Oishi believed that Satoshi-kun did it. He was waiting for Satoshi-kun to fall apart and confess. That's what both Oishi and I were thinking. But that hypothesis was destroyed later on. I'll not talk about it now, but Oishi's theory will be disproven, and the police will be thrown into shock. That's the secret stranger that is gonna be pinned for the crime of Tamae. A question comes to mind. That is, who saved Satoshi-kun? I can only think of the possibility that the Sonozaki family invented a culprit. Like, that would be one thing, that maybe it is the Sonozakis that pulled in some random stranger to be the murderer of Tamae. And that's because of Mion. Mion specifically did that to protect Satoshi. The cops were smart enough to separate us during questioning. Oishi didn't come to talk to me. His aim was Satoshi-kun and nobody else. I got a young cop who just talked about ordinary things. He must have been trying to ease me into the interrogation. When I realized that, the clumsy way he spoke began to frustrate me. Is Satoshi-kun alright? I didn't think Oishi really bought my testimony. You know, I am pausing right over here to do something, and this song right over here, it makes me think of Clownard. I don't know, doesn't it give you that feeling that it would fit in Clownard? Alright, he must have been trying to get Satoshi-kun to confess in spite of that. All I could do was pray that he kept quiet. Oh. The phone on the desk rang, and the cop picked it up.
はい、熊谷です。はい？ああ、そうですか。わかりました。すぐに。
He hung up and told me somebody had come to retrieve me. Looked like Satoshi-kun had to stay. Were they going to continue the interrogation just because he had nobody to pick him up? Although, maybe I should have been worrying more about myself. The hack had probably heard about me by now, since I revealed my real identity to the police. I couldn't hide any longer. I was going to receive some sort of punishment. I had no idea what she'd end up doing to me. The degree of punishment for a traitor is always severe in the world of the Sonozakis. The punishment must be carried out. If it's to protect the family's reputation, it's carried out no matter what. Maybe I should kiss my pinky finger while I still can. Aw, man. Made like a pinky promise to Kasai. I asked the young cop just in case.
ねえねえ、アメリカなんかでよく死刑囚が死刑廃止の州で捕まると引き渡さないでくれるっていう話あるじゃないですか。
ん？
Maybe it was too difficult for him. He just looked puzzled. A glossy black car was waiting for me in front of the police station. A few men from my dad's office spoke to me.
シオンさん、ご無沙汰しております。
葛西は？
Kasai had been helping me ever since my escape from the school. They wouldn't allow him to walk free. I mean, we've seen him in chapter 2. There's no way that they're gonna make him disappear or anything like that. I mean, Jesus. Like, we've still seen him serve Shion in chapter 2.
お姉はどうしてるの？何か言ってる？
私たちはシオンさんを本家へお連れしろとしか言われていませんので、詳しくは本家でお尋ねになってください。
After saying that, he escorted me into the car. A man sat on either side of me. Obviously, they didn't want me to escape. Thinking of Satoshi-kun, I looked back at the police station. Hold on tight, Satoshi-kun. I'll grin and bear it too. The car started off roughly. It was never a good occasion when I went to this house. Except when Mion and I were very small, obviously oblivious of what the Sonozaki name meant for us. I've been here only when I had to attend boarding family councils. And we were very young at that point. The car parked behind the house. Traders aren't allowed in through the main gate. I got out of the car. It looked like Sis would be the only person to receive me. I almost spoke to her casually, but her cold gaze froze me before I could.
お久しぶりですね、シオン。新年以外に会えるとは思いませんでした。
It gave me the chills to hear her greet me in that cold manner. Gotta act like a Sonozaki leader in front of Wario and the rest.
ミオン姉様こそ、ご機嫌麗しゅうございます。新年以外にお顔が見れて、3問くらいの得を感じます。
I mean, Mion is trying to defuse the situation that while Sean was discovered here, they are trying their best to not let the others know that they switched places and all that. It's still their secret. That's still something that they can still keep secret, even if Shion was discovered right over here. It's just that, hey, Shion pretended to be Mion just this once. Only this once. And that's it. Shion was just being a prankster at that point. That, hey, might as well just pretend to be Mion. It's not like I did this before. It felt funny trying to be Mion for once in my life. Something like that. Like they're gonna try and do that.
当主は大変ご立腹ですよ。
So, because of that, Mion is gonna pretend that this is the first time that she meets Shion in a long time, and not that they've been talking to each other and meeting each other in the past, switching places and all that. Mion is trying to defuse the situation here.
どう釈明されるか見ものです。私がするような釈明なんて別にないですし。
I had no excuse. I escaped from the school solely because I couldn't stand it there. That was all.
シオン、来なさい。皆待っています。
Mion escorted me, and others followed. We went to the garden, not into the house. Man. Speaking of the school escape and all that, like the first days of Shion's escape, I'm hungry for some burger. I could eat some burger right now.